So it is not too late to get your flu shot. In fact, timing might be just right, but lots of people would love to minimize the side effects because no one wants that because you're trying to stay healthy, but you don't want to feel lousy to get healthy.
Dr. Kohli is here. And we should say this conversation is obviously for people who want to get the vaccine. We're not going to make it political, but let's have that conversation. If people want to get it, what are we looking at?
So the flu shot this year, approved for everyone 6 months and older by the CDC. So everybody should go out and get it. Now's the right time. And I always say flu before boo. So try to get it before the end of the month, before Halloween, because we see a peak really, or 2 peaks, one in February, one in December. And remember, it takes 2 weeks after you get the shot for that immunity to really start to kick up. So a few things you need to know about the flu shot this year. First, 2 strains, flu A and flu B. There's an egg-free option for anyone who might be allergic to eggs. So this is a new vaccine that's just been approved. It's a recombinant vaccine, works really well. If you're allergic to eggs, it's raised in insects, so you don't have to worry about having an egg allergy. And then if you're a senior, your immune system is probably a little bit lazy. So after the age of 65, you have a special flu shot. And again, there you have 3 options, but all those options either have a higher dose of the flu vaccine to trigger a stronger immune response, or something called an adjuvant that kind of tickles your immune system and makes you respond better.
My dad just got that, so I was talking to him about it and asked him how he felt afterwards.
Yeah, how was it for him?
He said it was fine.
Okay.
He didn't have problems. So before and after, are there things we should do? I mean, should you drink a ton of water?
Yes.
Should you, I don't know.
You should drink a ton of water, but what should you not drink a ton of? Alcohol.
Right.
So 24 hours to 48 hours before, no alcohol, and same thing on the back end. So 1 to 2 days after.
What does alcohol do before? Like what
Dehydrates you, and it suppresses your immune system. So it can actually change the way your body responds. Caffeine can also dehydrate you, so try to avoid too much excess caffeine. You want to avoid eating a really greasy or heavy meal because that triggers inflammation in the gut, which can then change the response of your vaccine as well. And something that some of my patients do is they say, oh, I take an ibuprofen before I go in to prevent my arm from being sore.
Good idea, bad idea?
Bad idea. And the research here is mixed, but it really suggests that it may suppress your immune response because ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory, and the whole point here is to trigger inflammation.
What would you say to those folks who every year say, it's only this amount effective, I'm not going to get it, I'm just saying, what would you say to those folks? How important do you think it is to get a flu vaccine with the efficacy?
Critically important. And the efficacy, you're right. You know, they say, Phil, only a 1 out of 3 chance that I won't get the infection.
Right.
Last year I got the flu shot and I got the flu infection. But it's not about efficacy in preventing infection. It's about efficacy at preventing severe infection. And that's where we need to realize we get the flu, we take a few days off of work, not a big deal. But if we get the flu and end up in the hospital, that's what that vaccine really helps to prevent. So it is important to keep that in mind. And again, no vaccine is perfect, but every vaccine you get is a little deposit in your immune system's savings bank. That's what I like to say.
And sadly, people do die from the flu every year.
Kids, seniors, and even adults die from the flu. So no one should think that they don't get it. And, you know, we know flu activity every year makes a comeback, and it's high, it gets us out of work. And so it's really important to make sure you get it.
I'm curious, have you seen any kind of response from the discussion around the COVID vaccine and the pandemic that we had? How is it affecting people getting the flu shot in any way, one way or the other?
It is. I mean, there is so much vaccine hesitancy, which has been made worse by a lot of the recent changes that we've made to the MMR vaccine, to some of the other vaccines. So this year, people are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm seeing primary care offices not have the vaccines. I'm seeing patients not want to get the vaccine. We know that getting the flu vaccine can reduce your risk of heart disease because we think that flu may be an inflammatory trigger for heart disease. So for my patients in particular, as a cardiologist, I tell them all they have to get the vaccine. And when you go to get that vaccine, it's really important. There are a few tricks you can do to make it a little more comfortable. So for my seniors, I'm telling them to separate the shots because it might be a little easier, especially like your dad, Kim, who's 90 years old. The side effects can be worse. So separate the flu and the COVID. My mom went last year and she hung her purse on her arm and then had him put it in while she was, So put everything down, relax your arm, because if you clench it, you're gonna split those muscle fibers. It's gonna be a lot more painful. Right afterwards, you wanna do some arm raises, actually move that arm. So I always have them put them in my non-dominant arm, but make sure you keep that arm moving because that really helps reduce the pain as well. Some ice packs.
Okay.
But it's a small little jab. It makes a huge difference. So I hope you guys have gotten yours and we'll get you.
I was going to get mine this next week, so I thought that was good timing. Okay.
Same for me.
Doctor, thanks so much.
you.
And you can find more with Dr. Kohli at 9news.com/Dr. Kohli.